It's Christina Merkley, and I'm here with a Sit with Christina session. And Anna has taken me up on the offer, so thank you for coming on in. And you're aware of self-inquiry to some extent and non-duality. You've been in my thought songs. So anything you want to say to start, and then we'll just quickly slide into bringing up the drawing tablet and meeting what is.
Um, well, we can start. It's the first time I'll try to do something like that that will go public, but it has
Yeah.
been nice in your group, and it has helped me because I wasn't used to speaking to many people online, at least for some more serious matters or about feelings and thoughts and. Yeah, having found you from Anneke, yeah, it felt like it's the time that it somehow I could do that.
Yay. Yes, please.
Um,
Lovely. Okay, I'm just going to share the drawing tablet. As you know, you're used to me working that way. Uh, would you prefer to work with a template or just a blank sheet of paper?
yeah, I think whatever you think.
Alrighty, eh, let's do the template. I'll just go grab one of them. Let's see here. Just make it a bit bigger. Bring some of these out of the way. Now, as you know, we start somewhere and we end somewhere, right? We just kind of start with the now, whatever might be up at this particular moment, not necessarily like a thought, might be a feeling or sensation or something, right? Anything is welcome. At the end, we may have a title or something that wants to find itself on that front line. Let me just put your name and date in here. So, and what are we? May 7th. So welcome, welcome. So as we just kind of come into the
Right.
container, sitting here together, invitation, should you care to take it, I find myself closing my eyes. You don't have to do, you can do whatever you want. And I'm just taking a moment to breathe. And for myself, I'm just letting go of various things that have happened before I've come into this container with you. And I notice my breath just settling a little bit, even just a calmness or something coming in, particularly in my chest. So I'm more present in here. And then the question is, what do you notice over on your side? What's going on in your nervous system or your energetic field?
Mm, mm, mm. I think what feels like having priority maybe once again, maybe some thoughts about motherhood, some feelings of being sad around it, having a little bit of optimism also.
Okay, so lots showing itself right off the
Mm,
bat. So I'm just gonna slow it down just a tad here. So the first thing I heard, I think. So I'm gonna get the mind on here. And I always draw my little symbol of heart there too, because mine's one of our protector types, and it loves us, and so it tries to do everything from that intellectual thinking place. Thank goodness we need that in certain aspects of our life. So thank you, mind. And it's telling me motherhood is the topic. And then as soon as that topic emerges, I guess is motherhood question mark, and you notice sadness. So I'm just going to invite just taking a little moment here. Don't know if it even has tears, but that's the kind of universal symbol there for sadness. Hi, sadness, particularly sadness around motherhood. You are welcome here. We're just, it's coming to sit with us.
Mm.
So anything you
Yeah,
notice, anything's okay as we meet and say hello to sadness around motherhood.
yeah, maybe give it some flowers and hugs like other times you've told me.
Yay, good idea. Sweet. Yeah. So you're meeting sadness and you're giving it little gifts of flowers and hugs, open arms. How does it respond to your gift of open arms and hugging and flowers?
Yeah, with appreciation.
Nice. Liked it. It liked it, understandably.
Mm.
So just seeing as it's appreciating your reception of it. It may still stay, it might move in different ways, just anything you notice. We're not trying to make anything happen. We're just being present with what is.
Yeah, I think the next that comes up is like it's related to how my own mother was
Mm.
and some trauma, some fears of repetition. Um, but then it's like it doesn't also want to go there.
Oh,
Um,
okay, yeah. So that's a protector. So fair enough. I'm just going to get it down. So doesn't want to go there. So some sort of blocking, understandably.
yeah, or
Yeah.
like protecting also my own mother.
Ah,
Like,
sure, fair enough. Yeah.
yeah, like appreciation for some of her positives is also there. Like,
Hmm.
should that be the focus, maybe? But
Yeah, so there's both. There's mixed energy, right? So there's I'll just put it next here. There's the positive and then that so-called negative. So yeah, human beings are complicated, aren't we? Yeah, and so are relationships. So there's a acknowledgement of the positive as well as the traumatic and the stuff that you're fearful of repeating from those dynamics in the past. So we're just welcoming all of it.
yeah, like a contradiction.
Yeah, very good word. Yep, contradictions, absolutely. The yin and yang of it all.
Yeah,
And maybe even in the contradictions, confusing, right?
it's dangerous to focus on the negative, but it also feels a little dangerous to focus on the
Oh,
positive with
okay.
my mother.
Yeah, that's a real interesting insight. So dangerous to focus negative or positive. Kind of
Yeah,
damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, catch 22 on either one. Sorry, complicated.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I think it's
so
that.
we're just agreeing and meeting that. It seems very wise, that statement that just came out there.
Yeah,
So not either
yeah,
or one or the other. It sounds like yes and both of them. Keep them both in mind.
yeah. It's like if maybe this came more like a feeling. I think maybe the mind is trying to categorize it, like
Yeah,
make a comment. oh, this is a strange kind of attachment, not from the safe ones, you know.
Yeah, so your good satsangs do, you're recognizing when the mind's active. So wonderful, right? It's that witness perspective of catching it. So appreciations, if you care to give them, my universal thing is like a bow of appreciation and honoring to the mind. And its categorization that it often does. You notice that it's trying to do that. We could an invitation to drop down to the other intelligences, right? The heart and the belly, and since mind's weighed in, you could check with heart would be the next logical drop down. Does that feel like something that you'd like to do or be? Invitation to go see how the heart is, since the mind's told us.
Yeah. Mm,
I'm intuitively putting my hand on my own heart. Up to you if that feels good for you to do as well. Sometimes it can help us, especially when we've got, a really nicely developed mind that pops up first, can help to anchor into this other intelligence. Hi, heart, as we gently and softly kind of move down the spinal column and encounter the heart area. How is it for you? We've heard from your buddy mind.
yeah, maybe like the previous stuff, like it was more of feeling, or at least I was trying to focus on feeling. Um, so maybe there is some positivity there for my mother. Like if she wasn't there, maybe the drama I had in my life could be also worse.
Mm.
So
Hmm. Recognition or appreciation of mother's presence to some extent, it acted as a
yeah,
buffer or something. Yeah,
yeah, but it's still kind of dangerous.
yeah. There it is
Um,
again, the positive and the negative. Yeah.
yeah.
Now,
Um,
how is that for heart, having both positive and negative back there with the environment that mother was into?
maybe this creates more of frustration or anger.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
something stable would be better. Maybe.
Yeah. Understandably. So
Or not.
frustration,
Like
frustration and anger. I'm writing exiles and protectors as we go along because you're aware of that language from shifting the power and thought song, right? The parts. So this is a protective layer. As I keep inviting the heart, my guess is this protection around the heart, frustration and anger at mother, I'm guessing, and that negative and positive energies. Yeah. So we just invite that. Hello, hello, protectors. Hello, frustration and anger. Welcome to satsang, right? Welcome to our little song of two here. And
yeah,
anything you notice is you just say hello to those protectors. Sorry, I interrupted you.
and it's like the rest of my body. If the negative comes up, there is some stiffness, but not too much.
Hmm.
I guess if it was too much, I wouldn't be talking now. I would have cancelled. But yeah, there is still some
Right.
reaction.
Yeah. So
That's
you're saying
okay.
the body and the negative, and you say reaction. So it's giving us a fuller report. So we're just like, oh, yeah, we're listening. This the negative kind of feeling and the reactions, understandable. Hello, body. Hello. We're just creating a hopefully very safe place for those protective layers to show themselves. Understandable. Hello. You and I, your now adult self, and I are meeting them, right? You're meeting this layer of this frustration and anger.
Mm.
As opposed to jumping on in there and fully becoming them. Although you can do that too.
Yeah, it's
So do
like
these ones, oh, go ahead, sorry.
what comes up is yeah, like how to meet them, and then I feel like saying, like from distance, like to consider and think and feel something positive about my mother is like safer from distance, keeping my distance from her.
So who's that? That makes me curious. So that's another protect somebody else in there. That's I don't know, maybe it's mine, but it's somebody who wants to convince them to focus on the positive. Is that correct?
Mm, yes.
Okay. So what do you think? Exile, protector?
Mm, I don't know. It feels also somehow fair towards her.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm totally making things up, positive things. Although, yeah, that could be the case, having abuse in my past.
Yeah. Uh, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to draw a little yin yang symbol just for positive and negative. I think that's still kind of showing itself. There's the positives and there's the negatives.
Mm.
So just continuing to meet both sides of it.
And this distance could be coming from a more mature self, from
Yeah,
maturity.
right. Because I did say now adult self too. So no rush, no rush, just to meet the both sides of it, the yes and of it. And just see how did the body respond, because first it was the frustration, anger, the body, the negative, the reactions, right? And then this balance things coming in, this yin yang. Oh yeah, there's the positive too. So how does that body respond to this bringing the positive in? Any answer is okay. I'm just curious what you notice happening.
It's like relieving a little bit of some happiness,
Mm-hmm.
like from the past, from
Yay.
positive interaction.
So he's just say hello to that some past happiness.
Yeah, because it was like there was some love, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like it was taken away many times during the day, and it was like it
Mm-hmm.
became more and more rare growing
Yeah.
up.
Okay. So just acknowledging that the some of that past happiness and some love. Yeah, the taking it away during the day, some taking it away. That's going to be probably aversion. Of course, you wouldn't like that, taking it away. But when it was there, you sure liked that, understandably, right? Most of us like love. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then it's like there is some doubt, like It's like I know, like my mother loved me kind of conditionally, a lot
Hmm.
conditionally. But when I was little, it was like maybe more of those conditions she had because she could also manipulate me, and she really wanted to. I think she really wanted to be a mother,
Hmm.
but then from another perspective, also not.
Yeah, so there's here
Yeah.
it is again, either side of the polarity, right? It's okay. We continue to meet both sides of it. So there's wanted. I could really feel it in what you said. She wanted to be a mother. So we're yes, yes, hello, hello to that. And then there's also this, oh, but there's a lot of conditional, and you said the word manipulation. So one is going to be yes, and the other is going to be a no, just to be blunt about it, right? She wanted to be a mother. Oh, yay, we like that. That's nice. And then, uh-oh, don't so much like the conditional and the manipulation side of it. No, no, thank you, right? So the yin and yang, the both of this together. I do that figure eight for the polarity of it. Yep, preference there, understandable version there. We just continue to meet it. It's really consciousness is beautifully communicating here, right? As you kind of dance with this, here it is again, the either side of it. Now, anything you notice.
Um, in a way, this kind of still continues today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like she's still helping me somehow, even
Mm-hmm.
with very, very, very limited contact.
So we're just meeting that this dynamic continues to the very day, and that she does continue to help you. There might be another side of that too, but yeah, you said continues to
Yeah.
help me. Ah, yes, please.
Yeah. The other side is probably the unfairness, and this also has sadness and some anger,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
in a way, this help still is somehow abusive, like she's helping more my siblings.
I see.
So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah, this injustice again.
So it helps my siblings more. Yeah. So over there is going to be like, oh no, we don't like that. Yeah. Sadness, anger. So one is the exile, right? That's the youngest energy. And then one is the protector. So still a child, but an older one. So we just meet them both, right? There's and maybe we can just first go spend a little time with the exile, right? Who feels sad. And this might go way back, right? That the uh, helping more with the siblings or something. So the invitation, should you care to take it, as your now adult self, is to go bring your presence to this little one who feels the pain and sadness of mom being focused on the other siblings. And you, as her parental self, right? You just come be with her. Hi, hi, honey, we're here. We're here. I mean, I'm here as backup for you. You're taking the lead,
Yeah,
right? So as you come in, talk about being a mom, you get to be a mom to your little one here. And what happens is you come in to this one who's sad, as mom is focuses on the siblings and you come into the picture and you be with her, is there anything that feels spontaneous or natural for you to say or do with her, your little one?
Yeah, it's like I could go back to like my earliest memories from around 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's where you're being led. Yeah. So go meet the 2-year-old, right? Bring your now adult self to that 2-year-old. And you can kind of freeze anybody else who might be in that scene or whatever. And you, that future self of hers, you kind of come in to what that scene is with the 2-year-old. And what do you feel like you want to do as the now adult self as you enter into the realm of the 2-year-old?
it's like hugs and maybe what comes next is like lullabies. Was a need, I guess, that was not met properly. It was
Yeah,
like
so yeah, hugs. Yeah, you're bringing her attention and you're like, "Oh, come here, sweetheart. Let me hug you." How does she respond to you as you want to give her a hug? Is she okay with you hugging her?
yeah, I hope so, I guess. I'm better than
Well,
my mom, maybe.
yeah, exactly. However she responds is okay. I'm just checking because sometimes if we go up to a little one and go, "Here, let me hug you," right? It can be a little much for them. But other times they're like, "Oh, yay," they just jump right into your arms. So what do you notice with your little one as you come into her realm and you bring your presence to her? You might have to explain to her who you are too, right? Here's this strange woman kind of coming in. Or maybe she knows it's you, right? These kids can often be very intuitive. So, but maybe there you can explain to her who you are if you feel comfortable. Something like, "Hi, sweetie, I'm you, I'm your future self." Or just bring your energy, whatever feels right.
Yeah, it's like I wish I could be positive enough to like attend to a child's needs properly, or like my past self, let's say, in this scenario. But it's like a negative memory. It's like positive, negative from back then. It's
Yeah.
like mainly for me, maybe, or also for my brother. It was like I wanted my mom to sing lullabies, but when she started, the songs were sad,
Hmm.
and then I wanted her to stop. You know,
Yeah.
um, yeah, probably because she was sad and had depression or more things. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah. So maybe as you come to your little one, where mom's singing lullabies, but there's also this really sad energy. There could be an invitation to just kind of, in a way, freeze mom and freeze her lullabies. And then you come in and be with that little one who's having this mixed feelings with the lullabies happening. Aw.
Yeah, it's like there is some optimism and happiness,
Mm-hmm.
feeling that maybe I could do it better, but not too much confidence about it.
Sure.
because it's like I also have some
So I'm going to
depression,
try something. I'm
depressive
going to try
feeling.
something, and we'll just see
Uh,
how it goes, Anna. Right? Because
mm,
understandably, at your current now adult self, right, you're caught by some of this stuff from the childhood. So we can try an aspect of your consciousness that's got more confidence and more development underneath her wing than your current self does. You may remember the concept of the future self. We did that in Shifting the Power, and you've probably seen it happen in my sagas and other places. So I'm wondering if we could actually alert your future self. You may know which one, or you can just put a call out that you need some backup. You need an ally here, right? To help you to help the little one. And just notice, does any aspect of yourself in the future step forward to come help you? And I'm here as a surrogate backup too. Yeah.
yeah, it's like there's more potential for more happiness, more optimism, more
Yeah.
selfness,
Wonderful.
selflessness,
Uh-huh.
selflessness, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. So the future self responded, and you can really feel the her confidence and her selflessness and more happiness. Good news. So as you're in that world of that 2-year-old, and you've got mom kind of frozen there with the lullabies, you're there with your exile, the little orphan, and this future self is coming in to be with both of you. And she's bringing her happiness and her optimism and her confidence and her selflessness. First off, you, the now adult self, you can feel that from her. And is there anything that the future self offers to you? Anything that she says or does?
Yeah, also like more light because my
Mm,
earliest memories are from a dark home.
wonderful. So she's bringing in more light. Good idea, future self. More light. Yes, please. And then you just really feeling and soaking up that light too, Anna.
It probably had to do with the schedules during the day, and if it was winter. But I think it
Yep.
reflects uh, the problems back then.
Mhm.
That
Yep.
most of my memories from back then are like it was night and it was dark.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're bringing in the counter, you're bringing in that light, that your future self is bringing in that light to you, your now adult self right there. And then the two of you basking it on this little orphan here, this little exile, this little 2-year-old, bringing in much more light. Good idea. And anything that you notice as your future self brings in that light for you and for your little one. How do you respond? How's she responding? More light. Yes, please.
Yeah, appreciation, I guess, that it feels like there is this potential
Mm,
instead of desperation.
yeah, beautiful. Appreciation, potential. Yes, please. Now, there's actually two exile or two little ones back there. This one is responding, and we can see the appreciation and potential happening. So I just want to go to the second one. And she's feeling anger. She might be 2, or she might be older than 2. And
Yeah.
she's just there too with the mom and the lullaby, or maybe somewhere else. And you and your future self are going to go find that one, that more protective layer one who guards against that vulnerability of the little 2-year old, right? She's a little feistier. She's, angry and frustrated. Yeah. Can you find her?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yay. Yay. And what do you
can find this
notice?
feeling.
Yeah, you and the future self now go find that younger you, that little inner child, the one who carries the
Mhm.
anger. Where do you find her? Where is she? Hello.
Mm, yeah, it's like there. It could be like it feels like this could be solved with a little more intellectual help, like from the mind, because
Okay.
it feels like the anger is about the hypocrisy back then.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Good.
Mm,
So she's a little older, so she can take more of the cognitive, and she's pointing out hypocrisy.
yeah. Um,
So, what does your now self or your future self say to this one who's pointing out hypocrisy?
yeah, that it was natural to feel this way. Probably it would have helped if someone was more on, maybe my mom, my mother, or other people about how problematic, abusive, aggressive my father was,
Yeah.
or or even maybe my mother, not pretending that it was her time to sing if it wasn't, things like that,
Mm.
or even
Hmm.
hug me or feed me or whatever.
Thank you. As you're getting information, right? You're getting this one's kind of communicating with you, and she's pointing out your father's abuse and your mother's kind of funny behavior around that abuse, and just the hypocrisy of maybe even both of them. I also know there's a religious context, right? So some of this behavior goes against some of the tenets of what's espoused in religion, or not. I don't know. You tell me what's going on there. But this unfairness.
Yeah, for sure. Like my parents being part of a more general societal framework, when
Yep.
from villages, like Sunday means church also,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe not too much. Um, and of course, there are these contradictive feelings for my father too, because from my father there was also some love and caring.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
again, especially from the early years, and then it felt like it was reducing.
Mm. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so your now self and your future self are just really continuing to receive this information from this younger you, and she's really doing a good job communicating. Anything else she wants to share? We're listening. You're right. You're right. She didn't like it, understandably. The societal overlay, the church overlay. Um, yes to the positives about mother and father and society and church, but a big old no thank you to the negatives.
Yeah, like the next maybe clarification that comes up, but it's like of feelings of like how was that even possible? Like the level of hypocrisy, even
Mm.
for feeding me, you know. Because I remember mainly my father insisting and asking, "Are you hungry? Are you hungry? Are you hungry?" But them, they were all feeding me more than they should, probably. So it was
Okay.
like a forced yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, we're
I
going to put
mean,
that too. They don't
imagine.
like the forced food, understandably. Yeah. She's communicating and telling us about forced food. Oh, yuck, we don't like that. Yeah. Asking you if you're hungry, but not really listening to the answer and keep giving you more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your natural impulse as your adult, backed up by your future self? This little one's telling you about forced food. She doesn't like it. What's your response back to her?
It's like if I remember somehow that memory,
Hmm.
I could say definitely that I was on freeze mode. Definitely, I could not answer. I couldn't go away. I couldn't. It was I had to agree. I had to eat it.
Yeah, yeah. She's a kid and powerless in that situation. So she had to go along with it, understandably. There weren't really any options. Yeah, if I'm understanding you right. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So she's even giving us more information, right? So my heart's like opening, like, oh, sweetheart. Yeah, yuck, how awful. How old do you think she is? There's the 2-year-old. This one's probably a little bit older, but I don't know how much. What's your sense of this one who holds the understandable anger around this hypocrisy and this force feeding stuff and
mm,
the society and church?
maybe started to suspect that there was nothing wrong with me, and maybe it was them. Maybe at 4 and a
Yeah.
half.
Okay. So she's a 4-year-old or something, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Mm.
This
The
protector
food
of the
was,
2-year-old.
yeah,
Yeah. So
exactly. The
she's just
food
a little
was,
one too, right? She's, even though she's bigger than the 2-year-old, she's still pretty little at 4. Yeah.
yeah. It's like the food lunch was late one day, and first time I felt hungry.
Wow.
So it was like if they waited a couple of hours every time, or once per day.
Yeah, yeah. She's just adorable. I can see her with her hands on her hips, and she's absolutely right, right? Like, geez, people, you didn't have to stuff me. I could have just wait till I actually got hungry. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So bringing your
It's like,
presence to her, right? Just bringing your adult self right alongside, and you're backed up by me, and you're backed up by the future self. Now, how do you want to respond to this little one who's magnificently filling you in on all this detail?
um, I was still very naive at 4 and a half.
Well, sure. A 4-year-old, yeah, is not expected
Yeah,
to. Oh, yeah.
yeah. It's
Innocence.
like
Innocence.
yeah. It's like I was still taking most of the blame.
Oh, I see.
And I couldn't.
Oh, okay. So if you notice there's innocence or naivete in this blame, uh-oh, she's taking on blame. Now let's maybe ask your future self. Hey, future self, you got a little one, a 4-year-old who's taking on blame. Is there anything that you notice that the future self is doing or being with this 4-year-old who is taking on blame?
Mm, I don't know if it's like if I could correct something here,
Hmm.
like maybe this most of myself back then, or all of myself, um, in freeze mode and taking all of the blame. It's like since forever, like since my birth, they were
Right.
feeding me more than, and it's like I couldn't move, I couldn't react, I couldn't. Probably I was crying, but
Yeah, so and maybe the you got both layers here of the taking on blame, and the younger one I think is the freeze one and couldn't move, but maybe it's the 4-year-old too. Future self, how do you respond to these ones who are in freeze mode? They can't move and they're taking on blame. And it seems like it was a big part of the childhood. Yuck. Future self probably has a counter, Anna, in some ways, right? If you're not able to offer them a counter, I can certainly pop up as a surrogate, right? To say, oh, sweetheart, 2 year old and 4 year old, right? First off, I'm like, I'm so sorry because that's a sucky place for a 2 year old and 4 year old to be in, right? Emotionally, there's a lot of good stuff. They're acknowledging the positives, but the negatives, right, where they can't move. She's in freeze mode, and then they're taking on this blame. Oh, I feel for them. And I know they're innocent little kids, right? And there's a lot going on there. There's mother and father and their mixed energies. You said there's the village, so there's the societal cultural stuff going on. We also know there's the religion and the church, right? So, oh my goodness, little ones, there is a lot going on in your little lives, right? Yeah. So what can you see from your now consciousness? It's okay if you don't get it all, but you probably can see some things that they can't, right? And we'll call on your future self to even spot more because she's got more clarity than your now self does. What can your now self kind of explain or do for these little ones who are caught by all these understandable layers, negative layers, so much so they can't move?
Um, yeah, I don't know if it's from a more mature self, but it feels like I shouldn't forget also, like, there wasn't starvation, you know. I was fed quite healthy.
Hmm.
Um,
Yay, yay for that.
there was some heating, some clothes, the house, you know.
Yay. Yes, please. Yes,
Oh,
please.
and
Yes, please to all that. Yay. Yeah.
yeah, and something I noticed is like um, at
Especially for
core,
Greece, right? Especially for Greece and the war and the deprivations and everything from previous generations. So you didn't have what some of those, maybe even your parents or grandparents suffered and went through. So there's quite a lot of abundance, thankfully, right? Food and shelter and warmth. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I noticed it's like the memory of getting some relief, like some positivity of like I am able to be hungry, you know, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The memories from another house with more light.
Okay, good news. Yeah. So with the
Yeah.
consciousness, I think if I'm understanding right, it's really showing this balance, right? So as you go into one side, it's also reminding you about some of the others. Like, yes, this house was dark. That other one was easier. The other one that came later on was lighter. So thank you, mind consciousness, for letting us know, right? And consciousness at large is balancing that out. But we've got these two little ones in front of us that were there in that earlier, darker kind of housing period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we check with future self? I'm just curious. So, future self, hey, we've got Anna here with these two little ones. And one of them in particular, if not both, are taking on blame. The other one's on freeze mode, can't move. Help, help, future self. What do we do? Or be just noticing what future self from her more conscious vantage point, she's got more time and age and development on you, right, than you currently have, right? So she's progressed a little more in her consciousness. What does she, how would she interact with these two and with you?
Mm. I don't know if it's relevant,
What do you
but
notice?
I go to focus like on my mother from that
Hmm.
more light memory with being hungry and the food being late. It's like in a way I have appreciation, I guess, for the fact that her reaction wasn't worse, I guess, because
Yeah,
there are even more abusive houses than where I
yeah,
grew up. You
yeah.
know, it could be a horrible reaction, yeah, like, oh, now you're hungry and or beating me up or something horrible happening at that moment.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Seems
and
accurate. So you can, seems you can agree with that level of things. I mean, you're also in shifting the power. Another course I run, as you mentioned, Annika, early on. We certainly see a whole range of abuse, some of it very extreme, right? So whatever aspect of your consciousness is communicating here, it's saying, hey, it wasn't that bad. So we're just okay, just kind of agreeing with it. Thank goodness, you're right. It wasn't as bad as maybe some of the other houses around you when you were a child or in your ancestry's past, right? Or in the now with some of the other colleagues and stuff in the program. So sounds valid enough. You're right.
and it's like probably I remember there was some positivity from my mother, like maybe she also felt somehow relieved, like, oh, this child finally is hungry also,
Yeah, instead of having to feed
finally.
a child who's not quite hungry and
And
doesn't want to eat. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
yeah, it's like also thinking or yeah, feeling a little bit of a positive comment now from, I guess it's positive, I guess,
Yeah,
for
we
my
just
mother.
welcoming
Like,
that. Yeah, yeah, yes,
I
please.
don't know how much experience she had with other kids, like cousins
Mm,
and stuff, because
mm-hmm.
she grew up pretty much alone. She was an only
Oh,
child
oh, I
of
see. Yeah.
parents, of divorced parents.
Oh
My
boy.
grandparents.
Yeah. So it was a little tricky. She didn't get a lot of modeling.
Yeah, and it was like nobody was getting divorced back then. It was like the only
Oh,
one in lots of neighborhoods,
wow.
around.
Yeah. So kind of really stood
Mm.
out and maybe some shame and stuff, ostracization, whatever. Yeah. Now I'm aware of the word blame, right? So I'm kind of tracking that little one who's taking on blame. I'm a little concerned for her. So, hey, future self, what about this little one who's taking on the blame? Is that true? Is it hers to take on?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you want to gently point out to her in words that a 4-year-old can understand? Aw, sweetie.
Yeah, like it's healthy to eat when you want to eat, if there are
Mm.
no medical problems.
Yeah, that's a good message to get. So it's healthy to eat when you want to eat. Good. What else do you want to set her straight on?
I would say I I'd say it's a good and optimistic thing to manage to communicate those things to other
Hmm.
people.
Okay.
Finally,
Yeah. Yeah. Communicating the positives. Okay.
and the negative. It's a
Yeah,
positive
good.
thing to
Both.
communicate
Yeah,
the
right.
negative.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good. Anything else that future self offers to that little one who's taking on the blame and to you who's standing by watching the future self do and be what she is?
I don't know. It feels like it. This all brings like more light and truth, I guess.
Ooh, yes, please.
Um, yeah, like because in a way it feels like a luxury to have the time to talk about this stuff
Hmm.
because I wasn't really allowed to talk
Yeah,
growing up.
yeah. The luxury to talk. Yeah. Yes, please, to luxury of being able to talk and be listened to and have the time, the attention. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, because it still is, I guess, and always was like impossible to say those things to my parents. Like they would
Mm.
interrupt, they would clip it like they were that were suffering from me back then, from my existence, I guess.
Hmm.
If it fits the dialogue, also, it's like they also, it's like all these contradictions come from them. Like if they didn't fit the dialogue, we were a perfect family.
I see. Yeah. 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 So there's no room. It was only allowed like one side of it. So yeah. So the other side wasn't allowed. Yeah.
If it didn't feel like them winning, I don't know how to explain
Uh-huh. No, I think I'm tracking what you're saying.
winning the dialogue.
Yeah. Now let's just go see how those little ones are doing now that this luxury for them to talk. And they can just stay where they are, or there might be like a fuller rescue that wants to happen. Do you leave this 2-year-old and 4-year-old where they are? How are they doing right now? They could continue along their timeline with their mom and dad there and grow up with, you and the future self having made contact with them, or is there anything else that wants to happen here?
Yeah, like a saving in my imagination. Yeah, if somebody like me or my future self contacted, said those things to my previous self, that at those ages growing up, I guess I would have been back then a lot happier.
Mm-hmm.
It would be appreciated and something to remember. Like a positive conclusion that, like conclusions were kind of late in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The more one is closer to the truth, I guess, better emotionally also.
Mm-hmm. So, how are they doing with getting closer to the truth? And do they want to just stay there and continue along, or do you kind of bring them out? And if you bring them out, where do you bring them to? We have to check with them. Might there be a little orphan rescue here?
Mm, I don't know if I would like to say now the opposite again. Like there was also the need to be hopeful
Yeah.
But like my parents were, I don't know, like also maybe these conclusions are good for when they came because it was like abuse. Yeah, it was about to happen, but it piled up when it piled up, as
Hmm.
life continued.
Yeah.
So yeah, also yeah, maybe happened what should have happened
Mm.
altogether.
Okay. So, which often happens, right? I mean, it's a rescue in and of itself for you, the now self, to come be with them and to bring in the future self and myself, right? Like that's never happened before. So this is a rescue in and of itself. Rescues don't have to be just taking the orphans out of their environment, right? So if I'm hearing you right, they're like, no, we're okay to continue along our timeline here. Thank you for setting us straight on a couple things and letting us feel some different energy. And maybe
Yeah, it's
you
both.
you can
It's
be
like
like their
both.
guardian angel, continue to visit them as they go along their timeline and grow up, right?
Yeah, it's like both versions are true and valid, like helpful to think both of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Just see, because we can send future self back to her time. She can connect with you and them at any time, right? Is there anything else the future self wants to weigh in on or share before she returns to her vantage point?
Mm. Again, it's like I always have some doubt if what comes up is relevant, but it's like all of this kind of still continues because I kind of still need some conclusions about my parents. Um,
Um, I'm just curious. That doesn't sound to me like the future self. That might sound like the mind piping up and saying, "Hey, I need some conclusions." Am I right? Or maybe that's you. Like you can have a dialogue with the future self. What does she want to say about whoever it's coming from? Wants some conclusions.
in a way, it's like I could imagine myself like super duper maturity, like no matter the conflict,
Hmm.
having positivity and forgiveness and all of those positive stuff.
Is there a yeah but? Or is it
I don't know. I guess uh,
who objects? Who
yeah,
objects
I
to
guess
just go along feeling good and forgive?
yeah, I guess maybe also like a future version of myself, but not the final. Maybe that will still need some
Yeah.
becoming
Yeah.
better. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but there's like future self, future self, future self, right? Like there's a whole, yeah. So ask her, because,
Yeah.
hey, future self, do you have a future from there? Are you still in development?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's like depending on the family conflicts or how much negative stuff happens, how my family makes my life difficult.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, it depends. That is a factor about how much I will have to try to overcome all these negative things all
Okay.
in the future
Yeah.
or in close close future.
Yeah. So she says, yeah, there might be more to unfold and different shifts and how people respond depending on your communications and stuff with them. How's that land for you?
Yeah, it's good all that.
Hmm. So if
Yeah,
I'm understanding right, the future self is just really reassuring, saying, don't you worry. Nope, it's not going to be all perfect, all done. You'll be happier. Yes, there's forgiveness and stuff that occurs. There's a remembrance of positive and a remembrance of negative. And she's reassuring you, yeah, I'm still in a state of unfoldment. I'm still developing and growing. Yeah, probably for the rest of this physical life, like most of us.
yeah. It's like some hope that me, everybody, like can heal from no matter how difficult stuff comes.
Yeah, healing from the difficult. Yes, please, to that. Personally and group and collective, right? So not just for yourself, but for all. How lovely. Yeah. Healing for self, others. Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. Isn't that noble? Children wanting that for others too. Yeah, there's a lot of chaos and unsettledness in the world at large. So, yes, please. More healing for everybody, please. Am I tracking that right, Anna?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So future self has said what she wishes to say and communicate. How's the 2-year-old and the 4-year-old?
Yeah, I guess they are fine. They are fine. Like
Good.
as remembering my past self,
Hmm.
like in their uncomfortability plus whatever convenience somehow. This mix of whatever it was. It's difficult to describe like the specific like quality of what was happening in
Yes.
these different quantities.
Right.
Yeah.
And it'll continue to unfold, right? It's kind of alive. So as you continue to develop and unfold, it'll morph and shift on you. Yeah. So how's your now adult self? Right? I've checked with the future self. I've checked with the orphans. They're both okay. How are you? Who brought this inquiry here? And we've step by step met it and filled out this whole page, right?
Yeah, I like it, I could say. I hadn't decided that it would go exactly there. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know that the matters that concern me, but um, yeah, it's a new analysis going through my experiences and my feelings in a more detailed way, differently structured.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
usually I'm used at talking, and describing,
Right.
more moving from stuff and points more quickly.
More up in the head and intellect too. And now we've at least dropped down to the heart. We haven't so much evoked belly. Um, so that sounds like that's good news. Is there anything you want to say to the future self or to your little exiles before you kind of break contact with them, knowing that you're always in contact, right? But we're just kind of completing this particular facilitation with them.
Mm, yeah, like from now, like I'll be like, okay, I got it today. It went good. Communicating all of those stuff.
Yep. Yay.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Now, doesn't have to happen, but I've got some place here to put a title. So I'm curious to your exile, to your little protector, to the future self, to you. What's an appropriate title to put on this lovely inquiry?
I think it is a description of like the early years
Mhm.
with focus more on the mother, maybe, but also more generally.
So shall I call it the
Maybe,
early years?
yeah, like early years plus, I don't know, thoughts about my mother, maybe, or by itself, early years.
Okay, I put early years.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was like I started from mother, like, ma yeah,
Yeah, but it
feelings
broadened
around
on you,
that,
didn't it?
but yeah, but it went there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. Some, some positivity with the green there too.
Yes, yeah, new
Yeah,
growth, eh? Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thank you for coming to sit.
yeah. Thank you, Christina. It
My
was
honor to
nice
hold
trying
space.
it.
Yeah, beautiful inquiry. Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please to unfoldment. You may want to release your future self and your exiles and protector to continue along their merry ways, with you as an ally to them, or you could care to keep you all connected too. Whatever, what do you think's best? What do you notice? What would your instincts be?
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm not used to thinking, feeling like that, but yeah, like maybe bye bye from now.
That's,
Yeah, I
yeah,
got
yeah.
tasks to do, like uh, going into these feelings thoughts. It's good if it doesn't take the whole time. But yeah, like my versions of myself are always somewhere around, even if I don't analyze about it.
Yes, that's right. They're here in our psyche and yeah, with us in our subconscious. So, yeah, bye for now sounds a perfect way to sum it up until we meet again. Yeah,
Thank you, Christina.
yeah, yeah. You're saying that to your parts within and to me, because I know we'll continue to probably meet each other in the satsang space, right? And what we do in shifting the power as well. So
Yeah,
thank
and
you for
even if
coming to
I
sit.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like if even if I have talked to the group about similar stuff, it went kind of different today. Also, it's like
Yes, it did.
always more to talk or in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful. We can see the progression in your awareness path too, right? That's what I love about inquiry because we start with that beginning and the end. We don't know what the path's going to be, but I so trust the process of meeting what is, right? We just start there And as we meet and welcome it, then it shows us the next layer and then the next layer. And today it was really lovely to work with the 2-year-old, the 4-year-old, the future self, and your now adult self, right? With this beautiful parts work. And mm, it didn't have to be a dramatic rescue in terms of getting them out of there, right? But keeping this connection, right? Bye bye for now, uh, knowing you'll probably see them again.
Yes.
Yeah. And with this inquiry under your belt, right, there might be, oh, hello, there you are again. How are you? What's going on? Aw, come here to the 2-year-old and listening to the anger and the frustration of the 4-year-old, right? And kind of speaking to her cognitively, philosophically a little bit too, because she's a little bit more older and she can understand it instead of those raw emotions of the 2-year-old. Yeah, working at both levels of the consciousness. Yeah. And then, wow, you sure have an ally in your future self, right? You were very easily able to connect with her, and she came in. She's further along, just like mine is, right? They're further along in the consciousness path. So when you need help too, you can call on the future self for guidance. I always say the future self is the best coach in the world, right? There's other allies and ways we can connect in, but they're often very helpful. So I would just kind of mirror that to you, right? Your now self is able to meet with the exile level and the protector layer, and you've got backup. And you obviously come to satsang, so it's my honor to provide some backup as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Nicely said.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Thanks for coming. Hold on. You and I will talk after the tape ends, but
Okay.
thank you for coming to do a sit with me. I appreciate it. I think it'll be good parallel processing for other people as well. So very generous. Yeah.